Welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. Well, let's wrap up this week's doublets. We started with double fire, stacking up. It means scorching. And of course, it's we have two double sides that. When Chinese put double vertically, it could either mean going further away, like a bigger scale, or going vertically. That's also bigger scale. So here we have double fire, simply intensify that it's not the regular size or volume or heat of the fire, it's more. And yan oftentimes appear with 热 to describe the scorching summer. So I guess it's the peak fiery time of the year that kind of similar to describe what this double fire means. Okay, so you can see the ancient version of fire simply is a cone shape and with two sparkles, just use two to mean a fire is not like one body thing. It can escape into space. It's a beautifully fluid thing. And Chinese try to retain the integrity of Chinese characters by reducing randomly floating elements. So we keep this one dot on the left, but try to attach the right one to the main body so it doesn't have too many moving parts separate from the main character. So that's one modification. And also, I believe this is also for the convenience of writing. You do this, it's simply easier versus this. So up to interpretation. Okay, then we double the evenings. Well, it was a misnomer, not really normal, misshaper, I guess. In ancient times, the evening was symbolized by the moon symbol. Kind of look like this, right? Okay, we can sort of see a deformed moon shape, kind of a crescent shape. And the meat symbol also in ancient times symbolize like the moon, but with extra stripe in there to differentiate that that's the energy or the light reflected. I'm not sure if in ancient times people know the moonlight is a reflection of the sunlight. Not sure of that, but the sun symbol will have the middle horizontal line to symbolize light or energy, heat. The moon, we do the same. Instead of using a full circle, right? Moon, for the most time, stay in a crescent shape. And so we add one extra line there. No extra line there for the moon. And I think in the original, one of the original versions do have these extra lines. Okay. The meat symbol, though, is similar looking thing, but it's in a almost like omega sign. So it's just rotated a little bit different. And to differentiate the two, eventually people remove the moon light from the middle of here to preserve that, dedicate that to the meat symbol. And the moon simply is a crescent shape outline without the light, reflected light in the middle. So eventually, when we simplify language, that extra line denoting meat from the moon got lost. And now we have this, looks like two moons stacking up together, but in fact, it came from two meat stacking up together. Okay, in ancient times, having a piece of meat is significant in terms of food security, right? Feeding a family, all that. So it's almost like today's equivalent, I don't know, multiple cars. It's a bigger wealth symbol in ancient times than today's. Meat today, inflation is pretty expensive too, but it was not to the harder to acquire level in ancient times. So double meat stacking up here simply means more, means abundance, means food security. All right, so here I draw out this extra line that eventually get lost. All right, 铝 means spine, two boxes were the two vertebrae stacking up together. And of course, between the vertebrae, there is the spinal cord. And eventually, language erased that spinal cord so that it becomes two boxes stacking up together. And I would not just randomly guess it means spine. And I would not imagine Chinese culture kind of value spine so much. Me, I took one semester of art fiber class and made, when the assignment is to use felt, because it's fiber, right? You hand work with fiber to create a part of body parts, any kind of body parts. I chose spine. I feel like a spine was underappreciated, but crucial for humans. And I'm glad that I can see a spine imagery in there, even if it's just two vertebrae. Chinese never mean two, literally two. It means multiple of those vertebrae connected. And so I draw out here to mean, okay, that spinal cord was lost over time. Flourish, okay, chang. Even if it looks like two sun stacked up together, this is exactly the box with horizontal line, that's energy symbol. Ancient versions actually are two different things. The bottom is a praising symbol, which came from this cookware pot with handles, and half of the lid is open, so it's like you're speaking. We use the cookware to symbolize mouth, right? Mouth, besides eating, is speaking. So you half open means you're talking, and the horizontal line means a sweet talking. Sweet talking is praising, right? Praise, in praise of the sun, make us flourish. That's almost like, okay, you have some good years, good environment, good weather, climate, years to grow crops. But at the same time, humans, we sing praise to that, kind of pump up to work harder when it's good year, good weather condition. So it's both nature and human society together combined to create a synergy of make it really flourish, make those good years really count. So that's a flourish. And the contemporary version simply duplicate the sun symbol at the bottom, even if the bottom means yu, spoke, pronounced as a yu, and a contemporary version keep opening over here to differentiate from the sun. But the ancient version got this half lid open thing and open on the top here. So variations of the rendering of very different things, and then history kind of cast the dust on things that blurry views of what these originally mean. Okay, here, gui, it means originally jade tablet, symbolized ruler, and eventually become sundial, the carved measurements of the sun movement through the day. So I use ru, and also symbolize volume, right? So this is one of the rare occasions that ancient version versus today's version looks the same. I mean, how amazing is that? That means once the language creators, plural, come up with to describe soil and have double soil stacking up, that make it already like non-reducible. It's as bare minimum as it can be. And later days, we have no need to simplify it in any shape or form because these are straight lines. You cannot draw things any simpler than that. All right. So there's no change. Okay. Yao. Oh, this I translate as intertwined, but actually it later means the lines connected or disconnected on the trigram or hexagram. That's the ancient Chinese world modeling. Try to figure out how the world operates and use this visual things and also physical sticks to compute, I guess, ancient computer, try to forecast what's going to happen. And this intertwined image describes how different forces are going to interact. So intersect means interact, and from interacting leads to change. So Yao is a very versatile character. And in fact, okay, here's a side note that I forgot to mention when I was doing this. Chinese learning, the character learn, on the top, there are two hands handling down. And in the middle, this cross imagery. By that time, I didn't know this pronounced as yao, and I didn't know it means interaction. It means world modeling and forecast what was going to happen. And at that time, I was like, okay, this is network of knowledge. But this is specifically about this fortune-telling method symbolized by that 八卦, the trigram or hexagram method to tell how the world is going to be given the interactions and the knowledge we had. So the learning in Chinese in that particular shape like this, I guess, is the ultimate learning. You're not just learning to, I guess, facilitate the ruler of the country, like later days, thousands of years during classical China era, intellectual, ultimate career would be part of the bureaucracy. But here, this learning almost like you can tell the secret of the universe. You can tell eventually the interlocking, intersecting, interacting mechanism of the world that you can foretell what's going to happen. And I'm like, ooh, that's even better way of learning. Okay, so in comparison to the original form, not original, it's Xushen 2,000 years ago's version. That's just straight lines. Here, we add a little bit ink brush motion. You can see some thinner part, skinnier part, and a thicker part, that mimicking the brushwork. And here is intertwine. We have yan, duo, lu, chang, gui, yao. And that's our doublets of this week. Kind of a minimal change for this week because these are essential concepts in Chinese and we cannot really further simplify it much. But we erased some critical tiny details that later day people, unless it's a gui, we can tell exactly two soil stacking up. But who would guess that it meant jade tablet? That we got confused, right? Unless we dig into it, what that means, it may not come out straightforward as what you see, especially this one. It means praising. It's nothing to do with sun. And this is not evening. It means double meat. It means you're rich, basically. All right, so here we have the view of a scorching lava going to the ocean. And that shows the elements of nature interacting. And that's what Yao is about. Thank you for your time. See you another week.